It's all around. Look around you, man. You can find inspiration. You can find discouragement. It all depends on you. Perception is everything. Some people just hear another song. Some people hear the greatest. A nigga used to have no chill. Nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway.
When you talk about who you answer to, you don't answer to nobody because your mind is this short. So you'll come out and protest for George Floyd for a period, for Trayvon for a period, but how do you systemically really change the conditions of black folks in America? And young black men in particular, right?
This is a real question. Can we go around the room and everybody give their idea of what could work?
Absolutely.
We're gonna start with you, Bloody.
Chongo, man. It's about Chongo.
I hear you, man. Sound good,
yeah. No, I'm not a gangbanger. But I think one of the first steps.
So just because you're part of Blood,
He not.
But I was just gonna say.
No, I am not a gangbanger.
But that doesn't mean you're a gangbanger.
No, I understand what you mean. I understand the foundation of it and what it stands for.
Right.
I'm not talking back against it. However,
rest in peace, T. Rogers.
Yeah, he's not a part of it. He just keeps introducing me there.
I am a child of Chongo. Okay. His colors are red and white in Santeria.
Okay.
So that's why we're red a lot. White. But I feel like one of the first formal steps is education. I always preach about education. A lot of times we don't have an understanding of finances. We don't have an understanding of how this actual system works. Like how we're having this discussion. A lot of young brothers and sisters don't understand that.
Right.
And then when you start getting the education, even using social media as a tool, depending on the algorithm of the things you watch, you learn about how to build your own LLC, how to buy land, how to build a trust, all these different things.
Right.
And you can actually get things from these banks and these corporations in America in order to create your own.
But this stuff that you heard?
No, I know people that have done this, black people.
Right.
Who have land in Arizona, who have land in the South. Right. And they've built their own communities. Boosie is a perfect example.
Do they police those communities?
Do they police those communities? Yeah. That I don't know, but that is another thing.
Well, if they don't, then we still under oppression in that area, aren't we?
You are, but the whole thing is that you're educating yourself on what needs to be done. So if that is a factor, as far as education is concerned, like how do we police the community, then that means the great minds need to get together.
Okay, again, we just talked about Harlem being that place at one point, and we know what happened here. What's to stop that from happening in the place that you're talking about?
Us policing ourselves. We don't police ourselves here.
Right.
So if we allow ourselves to educate ourselves on the resources that we need, first and foremost, thereby educating our people to change the mindset, then we can understand from examples of Jewish people and how they control their own communities, especially in Brooklyn and other parts of New York, right? And understand where those resources come from. The main question is why we're not doing it. We're not doing it because there's so many different elements that's put into our communities that negate us from doing it. The food we eat, the air that we're breathing, the things we see on a day-to-day basis, the access to guns, the access to drugs, it's an influx. Whereas you go to these other communities, it's not like that. So that's why I say that I think the basis of it is education. If we learn what does it take for us to police ourselves, then we can do it. Okay. And we can start in a small area and expand.
Would you be open to doing the research on that and coming back the next episode and presenting that plan?
A policy? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's somewhat like what I did in public health. Talking about food insecurities and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
It's really no different.
Anybody else?
No, I would champ on that one.
You would champ on that one?
Oh, yeah.
MECC, is there hope? What can we do?
I think black people, one of our first of all, we think that one size fits all. We seem to have this one answer will cover every problem, and we don't take into account that we have multifaceted, multi-pronged issues from multiple levels across black men, black women, black children, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we each have our own multi-tiered fights, and we keep trying to approach it with one solution.
Right.
And I think that's always a mistake. I think that's one of the main mistakes we make. The other thing I think we do wrong is I think we have a sense of rugged individualism and not so much community. It's really all about me at the end of the day. It's really all about me and mine are good. I don't know what's happening with y'all. Like, I don't really care what's going on with y'all. Me and mine are good, so I'm good. I don't really care about that. Not understanding that, you know, what happens to him, I'm next. And you after me. And then she's right after you. Like, it's never that far behind.
So what do we do?
Again, that's one answer to a whole bunch of different issues. I think the first thing to understand is we got issues that are going to take, it may not be solved in your lifetime. Except that you may not live to see the results. You may not live to sit under the tree that you plant today.
Well, what's the timeline on your idea?
I don't have one, because again, some issues. One of my main issues that I just brought up was the fact that I think the people who incarcerate us, persecute us, et cetera, don't answer to nobody. Nobody ever goes to a judge and says, "Why the fuck did you do that? That's crazy. You're in trouble. You're fired." And we got to wait till we vote them out. But there's no. If I do something wrong on the job that day, I get in trouble that day. I don't get in trouble a week from now, a month from now, or the next election cycle.
How many people complain and stick to that complaint, right? And make sure that that process is pushed through. And I agree with you. There's no system of real accountability. But the fake accountability is us staying to complain, right? Most people don't complain about the judge that just did something wrong. Yeah. The reason why some cases are being overthrown is because people are looking into those. They complain and they keep complaining, right? Until somebody listens. Like, there's brothers in jail right now who are complaining about they were forcibly incarcerated by a crooked judge. Most of the time, nobody's listening to them, right? And or their family.
I mean, it's a hard process. I went to the CCRB for the situation I spoke about while I was fighting an assault charge against an officer, and the deal that they gave me was, you drop yours, we drop ours. So it led to nothing.
The CCRB, one of the brothers who's my right hand, he just joined, was appointed to the CCRB, and they are working to try to change the way they show up and the outcome. But it's going to take long. Unfortunately, we got to work for our freedom.
All eyes on me, do you, cause I'm doing me. Still shine with no jewelry. I would rather have the unity. It's gonna be you if it's you and me. No tears in my mama eyes. Got a team full of ride-or-die. Hail Mary, nigga, rock-a-bye. Rock-a-bye, all eyes on me. Made it out the hood, I'm so grateful. Never know what talent gon' take it. Jealous niggas never made a breakthrough. That's why they watch it so hateful. All eyes on me. They say the top is so lonely.